Soccer is a famous sport. I mean, why is there a World Cup happening right now? Billions enjoy it and I am not one of them. I think sports are lame, but if you slap Mario into baseball, it makes it 1,000 times better. And the same thing applies to Touhou. Slap it into soccer and it immediately becomes the greatest thing ever. If only something like that actually existed. Oh yeah! Touhou Soccer is a fan game released by Hajime Tsukuma-san back in December 2006. It's rather average in the grand scheme of things, but a few set aspects of the game set it apart for all the right reasons. How is the ball not dead yet? Sports games come in all shapes and sizes. The Mario Strikers series is a dynamic and fast-paced game where you play soccer in an extreme manner. Touhou Soccer is not as extreme. I mean, the game is not what you think of it. It's a strategy RPG sports game closely inspired to Captain Tsubasa for the NES and SNES. It follows a style of games called cinematic soccer where you follow a player and strategize on what your next move shall be. You move to the left, pass to a player, or kick to their goal. However, they use points per move like a traditional RPG. The moves are animated on top of the screen to add some cinematic action. Ooh. You can see some fancy moves like kick, passing, and in the Touhou game, special moves. They are flashy attacks that you have likely seen before, like Eiki activating your ultimate judgment, Romelia using your spear and flanger riding on it, and even Aiden destroying Apollo 13. All to kick the ball and score a goal. Aside from causing global destruction, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There is an entire Japanese wiki dedicated to strategy for this game if you want to read more about it, if you can translate it. The game likely goes deeper and could have potentially become an esport in some really messed up alternative universe. However, there are problems. The game will bug out sometimes, missing text and crashing at points. You can fix most of them by forcing the game to run with Japanese locale, but seeing as the game is nearing 17 years old, instability is something to expect. But besides the deep gameplay, it also has a story that some people like. Reimu, Marisa, and Mailing were enjoying their day, doing nothing. Suddenly, a strange man appears to advertise a strange game from the outside world. Football? A new stadium was built at Gensokyo, so teams from near and far built up, and their new goal is to become the greatest football players at Gensokyo. After a 21 game-long campaign of winning, losing, and leveling up, and even fighting bosses, let's just say the ending is wacky. But that's not all. After being finished with the main campaign, you can enjoy sub-stories from characters like Mailing, Alice, and even Marisa. They are smaller stories compared to the main campaign, only being at most 5 matches long. But they are stories that you would expect from the Touhou series. A slice of life entry into the lives of the characters you love, like Marisa trying to become the best of all at Gensokyo. Throughout her campaign, she beats Patchouli, Alice, and even Reimu, but her greatest foe would not be someone people are familiar with, but rather an old foe from years ago. There are 2 other game modes I have not covered. Travel and All-Star mode. Travel mode is essentially the end game mode. If you have already beaten the game, this is probably what the developers expected you to do. It is a 25 game long campaign of starting from zero and building your team to become the best, buying and selling members as you go along. Occasionally, you will encounter members of a rival clan from a far future place. The Seho cast. Ooh. The robot herself, Vivid, appears to take glory for her series. Winning and losing determines what happens throughout the campaign in this match, so it is good to play at your best here. The other game mode is an All-Star mode. It's the equivalent of multiplayer where you can play locally with a friend or two in exhibition matches, determining the rules and how many games you want to play. Think of this as like versus mode from Mario Kart. Of course, Touhou fans aren't known for having friends, so you can play with a bot if you want. You know what else Touhou fans are known for? Caring for only the characters. You know, the fun stuff. Okay, what do I mean by the fun stuff? Well, Touhou Soccer has a lot of characters as expected. It features much of the cast from Embodiment of Scarlet Devil of Phantasmagoria Flower View. Seeing as the game released in 2006, it was amazing seeing all the familiar faces in game, but to the few longtime fans of the series, Hachimitsu has a surprise for you. Remember how I sorta mentioned Mima earlier? Well... wow, Rikako as Sakura? How is that possible? It's a major treat to finally have a match between Sakuya or Yumeko, or even Reimu versus Reimu. Who wins? I don't know. It's really cool seeing forgotten characters being represented in a game like this. And they have nice portraits too. In various matches, you can get stock characters, regular no-name fairies, and bake. You know, the Mario Ghost enemies from the PC98 era. It seems perfect, but the game is rather weird for having Sheik Yaki being called Xanadu. Who? There are weird aspects that the game has become infamous for. Lily White is a character, but she has a counterpart, Lily Black. Touhou nerds will like to point out that the two are the same person, and it's true. At the time, there was a misconception of if the characters were 2 or 1, so the mystery held up for some time. Here's a spoiler. Zun confirmed that Lily Black is Lily White in 2010. Mailing's goalkeeper counterpart is not even Mailing, it's China, a common joke nickname for Mailing back in the day. And we cannot forget the elephant in the room of special attacks. Sometimes, a technique will involve Danmaku to confuse the enemy, while special attacks are most definitely the RPGist element that they could have added into the game. The attacks vary in size and scope, like Wriggle Nightbug having a regular super kick, Chiodi building a robot out of chairs, and Yumeko and Mima creating an epic Tri-Spark, thus destroying the world, and somehow the ball still survives. The ball can survive all of this wear and tear, yet my school dodgeball deflates after hitting someone in the head? How? At least one person has speculated that the ball is the Hakurei yin-yang orb. It is plausible, or maybe the game just doesn't make sense. But one thing that is always constant in Touhou is the music and art, and they are nice. The music in this game is as you expect from the regular series. It is freaking awesome, especially with this song. I really like it. The art is also really nice, coming from the artist Myofukai. If you ever seen his Yakumo family portrait, it's from him. He has a really 2000s art style that I personally like. It's nice seeing the animations that I assume he did for the special attacks, since they match well with the style too, like seeing that anime from Toonami as a kid. Oh, and you gotta like the pixel art too. The whole aesthetic of the game reminds me of something you would find on the Wii Shop as a kid, which I really do like. Most videos of the game come from pre-2010, so they have the nostalgic aesthetic of old Touhou, even though it's a game that you have likely never played, or if you have, it's likely been 10 years since the last time you played a match. It's a nice game that I think is worth coming back to. And hey, like I said, Touhou makes things 1,000 times better wherever it touches... mostly? Fellow YouTuber Osprey FM has made a video or two relating to the game, so it has brought back some interest to like 2 people. Hopefully this short explanation should be enough to bring back the game, at least for a little bit. But in the meantime for you, my brothers and sisters, I must moderate this game.
Hey Marisa, what is that? Marisa, that's not the right ball. That's a golf ball. Oh, don't give me attitude, you want to play soccer with this dingus thing? Yeah. Great, you made me lose the golf ball. You know what, Marisa? Yeah, peace out.